Hello. We're going to be starting on some sub-assemblies. Ow. How's it going? Am I showing up on both, or do we have our first technical difficulty of the setup? I'm definitely going to have to get some no X-Acto blades. Probably have to do it later in the week when I get off at 3 or 4 one of these days. God damn. It's like my body knows I'd planned to do an oil change later in the day, so it's throwing out all the muscles it can. Is that better? Let me see what I can do. That's what I'm doing right now. I got it up to 133%. Is that louder? Okay. I had it turned up before. I don't know why it defaulted. Probably because of all the crap we changed. Okay. Might as well get everything unbagged while I can, right? At least everything I'll need today. Yeah, the biggest hurdle I'm going to face on this is I need light gray markings for the numbers and the Czechoslovakian Air Force symbol. And I can't find them. I've looked So I might have to make my own stencils or try something out. But that's the very, very, very end. I have to see if I even succeed at painting first. Alright, where are all the seat parts? There they are. And other interior bits and bobs. I'm still iffy on whether or not I want to have the engines displayable. Excuse me. Because that can complicate painting things. You're back! Oh, that works. Go over to YouTube and type something in and see if it shows up here. 40. So, there is a person who ran a website called Aliens Papercraft. He was a Czechoslovakian artist. Basically, you get all the stuff from Aliens in papercraft. And he also did a lot of artwork and stuff. And when the Czech Republic had a Tiger Meat invite, he was hired to paint one of their Mi-24s in a Tiger Meat alien paint scheme. The entire airframe is alien themed. All hand painted, all airbrushed. There's pictures of it all over Google and everything. And I'm going to recreate that paint scheme. It just came up Twitch. I don't see any YouTube chat yet. Weird. Yeah, nothing with a YouTube mark, just Twitch marks. That's not good. Unless there's a delay. Let me see something here. Yeah, it's not showing both to me. Yeah, it's not showing both to me. Let me try this. Filter. I just turned the filter off and back on. Or do I have to turn multi-chat back on by chance? Yeah, it's not showing up. So yeah, today we're just going to be putting sub-assemblies together, getting it ready for painting. And where do I do that? Yeah, because... yeah, all my other settings show normal. Nothing's showing for chat sources. Well, if anyone comes in on the YouTube side, I won't be able to see it. I'm not going to have 20 windows open today. Try this. Yeah, see, Kenneth is in there. So, yeah, let's pop out YouTube chat. That way I can have it up too. There. So now I have YouTube chat as another pop-out window. So we're trying a different multi-stream, Kenneth, and YouTube chat should be popping up in the multi-chat window, but for some reason it's not. But that's alright. Anyway. Fuck. Where's that cockpit picture? Got one that shows the back seat. Where did it go? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to worry too much about being 100% correct on the interior, because you're not going to see too much of it. I mean, I might leave a door open on the side. I don't know. I'm still pondering that. Or maybe do one side open, the other side closed. There it is. Okay. Right now I just want to glue stuff together. Everybody else having a good weekend, though? I think this is also the problem we had last time, Aries, is the chats wouldn't reconcile. Besides creating the doubles. Fingers no worky today. They want to throw things. That will go there. I will be putting the photo etch seatbelts on, just not right now. I've got to do some annealing. Basically, you heat the photo etch part to make it a bit more pliable. I'll worry about that as I get closer to installing the seats and painting them. It's still back seat. Looks like there's two different styles. Yeah, one with a headrest, one without. So I was wondering if I was looking at the same seat. And then the front seat, yeah, just one style. Okay. Okay, I see how that goes now. Yeah, I started building this kit once about 20 years ago. And ran into a spot of trouble here in the States. Had to move 3 times in a year. And it didn't make it. At that time I was doing it up in the tiger meat scheme that came in the instructions. And it was coming along pretty well too. But a large box fell on top of the box that was holding it, and crunch. And this is before the alien one existed to get inspiration to work on it again. From what I remember, it's a fine kit. Goes together really well. Others out there will argue the accuracy of it. I like it. I didn't run into anything that stopped me from building it anyway. Building the frame for the troop seats. Yeah, the real fun of this build's not going to be until we get to the body. That's when the craziness starts. That's a good thing I double checked. These are supposed to kick outward a little bit. So I had them in backwards. Stupid me. Trying to sand down some ejector pin marks from the mold. Early 2000s trumpeter was really bad for those. just going to temporarily put these in place so they can dry in the right situation. While we start assembling all the other stuff. Didn't mean to hit the camera. C12, C13. Something's not adding up here. 13 looks right. Oh, it's I2, okay. So it's having me put a clear film down between the parts. The gauges are typically printed on that. So I need to investigate how that looks. See if I need to back it with white or not. And then we sandwich it between clear pieces for the dial faces. Let's get the dial face on there first. So I need this one. Then these can go back in the bag to protect them, because I really don't want to scratch those up. And there's the main canopy part. And the dial faces. There's the main photo etch. Some of the belts aren't photo etch on this. Just the buckles, which are a righteous pain. We might be rethinking something here. So I'm putting this on the back in the hope that it will show through the gauges okay. Just to pop them a little bit more. The fun part's going to come when I have to match the cockpit color. Depending on who took the picture, when, and the lighting, it looks like either a teal blue or an emerald green. But I found that this color matches pretty close. So I'm going to go with it. This is another trait of older trumpeter kits that I didn't really appreciate. I've made it work in the past with their flanker kit. And I think it's also supposed to replicate the glass once the gauge is in place. I'll be masking them off with liquid mask when I do go to paint it. It'll be a whole thing, so as long as they match up. Yep. And the acetate essentially gets trapped between the two plastic pieces. It's basically a sandwich of parts. I'm just trying to make sure I did it right. Aries, do you remember if their MiG-29 kit had the same film sandwich for the gauges? I think it did. For a minute I tried looking for the resin cockpit for it, but I couldn't find it. Verlinden made one years and years ago. I don't know if anybody else made one. See, this one's not as nice on the back. This is made to be inside that clear part and then glued around. This is just flat, but there's a lot of pin marks and stuff on it, so again, yeah, the dials inside are really small, but you can make them out if you look carefully enough. And I've got a way for painting deactivated CRT screens too. That'll work really well. I just have to get a picture of what one looks like turned off to make sure I'm doing it right. Some are red, some are black-green. It depends on the airframe and sometimes even the country of use. I was more wanting it just to go around the edge, but that's fine too. As long as it doesn't melt the acetate, I'll be happy. I don't think it will. But this is why I wanted to glue this in last, because I knew this piece would determine where it stops. There's a small lip where the clear piece rests. Come on, autofocus. You can barely make it out there with the glare. C10 and C46. Anybody else's hands rebelling against them today? through my pictures again. Could have sworn I had one of the instrument panel. There it is. Yeah. I'll show you what I mean about the cockpit color. So, like that. That's going to be interesting to paint. And it looks like I'll be doing like a frosted gray-white color for that control monitor too. This one's set up a bit differently. Yeah, it doesn't have this module in the middle of it here. That's fine. Fenrir, thank you for the raid. Wondering why everybody was so quiet today. Figure you may still be streaming. Charlie 46. And welcome in everybody from Fenrir Studios raid. Or Fenrir Media. It's Ares Studios. Duh. I'll get my head pulled out of my ass one time before I die. Okay, and this little bugger slots into here. Come on, go to your home. Hello. Did your stream finish up okay? So what more do you need to finish your path to affiliate? Because I know you've got the 50. So it should just be average viewers and hours now, shouldn't it? They lowered it to 25 now? When I was doing it, it was 50, you lucky bugger. But that was also 7 years ago. Seven years and I still haven't busted 1,000 on followers. Oh well. Well, just like YouTube recently dropped their requirement for monetization from 1,000 to 500. But that's for basic monetization. And I think we're 23 away? Or no, 43. Let me see what I'm at. Redhead Foxchild, thank you for the follow. So yeah, on YouTube I'm at 474, so we're 26 subs away on the YouTube side from being able to do the same thing there. So welcome to the stream. What am I missing? I'm forgetting something. That's okay, I'll fart and remember it later. So if you're watching on here, but you want to support the YouTube side as well, because I think that will be the bigger side. Twitch has been having problems, from what I understand. That did its job. Okay. So typically I stream on my days off, which lately have been Sunday and Friday. Yeah, YouTube has the wider breadth, but Twitch, I think, is going through some severe financial troubles, and they're not sure what to do about it. Kick gives the bigger return on subscriptions and things like that, too, as well as YouTube. And I think YouTube hits a broader audience as well, because it's browsed more randomly than other places. So the seats I'm not going to put until last. This entire bulkhead goes in, but that'll be better painted separately. But I want to get at least this side of the cockpits built and ready. Like, I have a Kick account, I just can't remember my information to get into it. I don't know, if Twitch growth really just sharply flatlines like it basically almost has, I might transfer over there fully. We'll see. I think in the past few months I've only had 3 new followers on Twitch. No, it can't hurt. So if I can get my Twitch, or not my Twitch, my Kick recovered, I might add that into here once we can figure out why the hell the chat's not working right. I've got YouTube chat popped out right now, but aside from Kenneth, nobody else has typed in it recently, so I don't think anyone's on that right now. And honestly, I just need to be on more. That's the main thing about any of this, is I need to be on more. And hopefully that'll happen sooner than later. This one goes here. And one of these days I really need to go through and make sure all my stuff's talking, like the Discord, Instagram, notifications, and all that stuff. Because I have a feeling there's a disconnect there too. Okay. And C36. So after we get most of the cockpit assembled, we'll probably move on to some external parts, pylons, fuel tanks, anything I'm going to need to paint with the body. Then I have to scrub the pictures to make sure that like the winglets on it, they all need to be the same color. That way I can start drawing in the pattern. Check their fit against the fuselage, make sure I don't need to fill anything, because with what has to go on the bottom side of the winglets, I really don't want to deal with that attached to the fuselage. So if they attach clean, like I don't have to put any filler, then I'll leave them off. Go. Music's not too loud, is it? I feel like it just got a little louder. That goes there. Okay. And then this goes here. So I need C6 and C11. Yeah, so the next few streams on this are basically going to be getting everything assembled. Like, this is going to be put together and attached to that. You know, every sub-assembly I can put together, I want to get together. Then we'll go through and paint everything how it should be. So like the black and blue for the cockpit, the gray for the interior, get the engines assembled. That way they can be put in. Because I think the engines are part of the exhaust. So yeah, it's gonna get interesting. But just for the model's sake, in the end I want to have like the right side engine bay opened and the right side compartment doors opened and the cockpit opened up, but then you leave the left side all closed. That way I'm showing off all the model and it doesn't feel like I'm leaving anything out. Because it feels like a waste to hide all that. If I can make it look good. If I can't, then yeah, we'll just hide it all. Control sticks we'll leave off. Yeah, we're going to be jumping around on this a little bit. What the hell? I've got you lined up. Why aren't you going in? There we go. Let me do a test, we'll see. I might be able to paint this with it in place. I'd just like to have it more direct if I can. Oh yeah, I'll be able to paint that just fine. Excuse me. This fills in there. It's all about the test fitting. There we go. I think that'll look tight enough once it's all, you got the control sticks, the other controls in there, the collective. Where did it go? There we are. And just for an idea, this is going to be the size of the canvas. So it'll be a decent size. Excuse me. Let me get this all glued together and temporarily put together. And then we'll take our first stretch break. Let's get all this stuff out of here so it doesn't fall around. And there's going to be no detail. Wait. I think there's plates I've got to glue on in there. I forget. But there should be wall detail in there. Oh, excuse me. I think I slept a little too well last night. We had a little bit of a rainstorm come through. And it seems the numbers are backwards, which they are. Okay. The instructions are calling out for 4 here and 3 here. This is 3. The tab sizes are different. I may cut this off here just so I can get rid of that nasty sprue. One thing I do remember is this kit had pretty positive locating marks for the interior exterior alignment. Come on. Go to your holes just temporarily. I'm not gluing you yet. These large tabs, and they slot right into here on the inside. So gonna leave a little of the sprue hanging off so I know where to clean it up. Some of these are even undergated. A lot of good detail on there. But yeah, let's take a stretch break, because when we come back, we're going to start in on the engines, get them assembled. So be right back. Alright, I'm back. Got a macadamia nut white chocolate cookie. Can't say I'm a fan of Kroger cookies. Ew. Never mind. We don't have a macadamia nut white chocolate cookie. Gotta wash that out. Alright, now we're starting in on the engines. Okay. 13, 18. And 12 and 17. So these engines aren't like, they're there. If you were to look at these Zvezda 72nd and 48 scale Mi-24s, their engine bays are actually ridiculously detailed compared to these, or compared to this one. I don't know if I want to go filling in that detail or just kind of leave it as is. Like I said, we'll see how good I can make it look, and then go from there if I decide to have the engines on display or not. Or if I'm only doing one side, excuse me, do I just fill in what's missing on one side and make it look a little bit better? Then we have to do this twice. At least on this kit they gave you an option to display it open, unlike their A10 kit where they give you the full gun bay but no way to display it open. And I go dropping things again. Yep, I'm dropping stuff. What else is new? And my fingers aren't having a very good track record today, are they? Now, I've only ever seen the helicopter fly with the fuel tanks on it, and a couple of the missile rails on the wingtips. Which is a shame because this kit comes with everything. Every munition you can think of is on here. Like how they've made that so close to there. Alright, I'm gonna find something else. The warbling in that isn't sitting too well with my head. Where did it go? Here we go. What's really difficult, though, is once the engines are assembled. Hey, Duster, how you doing? I'll have to get the fuselage half up here to show you. So once the engine's assembled, it's got to be put on here because it clamshells through here. Fortunately, this entire area is metallic, so I should be able to paint this and then mask it for the majority of the other painting. We're doing the Czech Air Force Alien Mi-24. The one that's painted up for the Tiger Meat. And it looks like they also had designs to do a Terminator themed one, but I don't think they ever got around to it. I hope so. We're just getting the nitty-gritty of the construction out of the way first. Once the fuselage is together, though, it's going to be a long process of painting. What scale? God, I haven't built a B-24 since I was a kid. I think the last one I built then was the old Academy kit. I've heard the newer Airfix one is really nice, though. A lot of the new stuff from Airfix and Monogram, or Revell I should say now, is nothing like what they used to produce. Which one, the Airfix one? I think I've got the Academy Memphis Belle up in my closet to finish. Oof. Yeah, that's the other downfall. A lot of the new Airfix stuff is also priced accordingly. Not saying their old stuff is terrible. I mean, it could be built really well if you know what to do with it, but they were definitely a sign of the time they were made. Very crude. Yeah, that's the last one I built. And that was back in the late 80s, early 90s, I think. Yeah, overall, it really isn't a bad model, depending on what your idea of a bad model is. I just have a feeling other people just unnecessarily crap on old models these days. There we go. Come on, go to your hole. I can see where you want to line up right there. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it does fit nicely. That's one thing I do remember is the fit was great. I think the thing I remember even as a kid, because I'd helped my father and brother build the Monogram kit before that. Long time before that. And I just remember the Airfix external detailing, while not wrong for what it was, because you're talking raised panel lines on a kit that was older than me at the time anyway. It was just very heavy-handed. But that's easy to say for any kit that's that old. It's gonna be really heavy on the panel lines and stuff. There's a B-24 near me here that a while ago there was a documentary on Discovery Channel about a B-24 and a P-38 that were picked up from the Aleutian Islands. And that B-24 is now reassembled in the museum near me. I'm probably not going to run out and buy one anytime soon, though. Just don't really have it in my head to do a lot of World War II type stuff. Not right now, anyway. Boing. Where did that fly off to? There it is. Drop. I'm not saying there's anything against it, just not in the mindset for it lately myself. If I did do anything more World War II related, though, it would be a Blue Nose Bastard of Bodney, P-51. Because that was my grandfather's unit. The actual lug space was flashed over. There we go. Okay, let's start by getting a little glue on there and getting that to seat properly. You there. D20. That's you. Come on, go in. Get my tweezies out to do the work for me. There we go. And just think, I've got to do all this again. I think this is why I decided to not have the engines exposed on the last one I did. But I kind of want to this time. This is 35th scale. Here's the sub-assembly for the cockpit and troop compartment. Okay. D10. paint. Yeah, I didn't really feel like painting much today, so I figured I'd start building this. Overall construction should be pretty quick. There's a couple things I'll have to see if I have to put them in before assembly or if I can get away with it after assembly. Mainly the main landing gear and the nose gear. If I can put those in after, it'll make painting the hull a lot easier. Or fuselage, whatever you want to call it. And if I really have to for the markings, I can scale up images of it and make my own stencils. I hate working with the instructions in the way, but I gotta be able to see what I'm doing. Before I glue that on, let me get that piece in there. D15. Stick to the model, not my finger. There we go. Okay. Now I need the F sprues. D4 and 5 first. We're done with that one for the moment, but we'll still need this one for the other engine. Come on. There we go. Hey, Flight Sim. That goes up there. F sprue. This over here. Not that one. I'm sorry to hear that. What kind of bird was it? Oh, cockatiel? Well, I had a few when I was growing up too. They could live a good long time. I think one I had was actually given to my sister-in-law and didn't pass away until many years later. 13 and 14. So I'm sure yours probably had a good life. Yeah. F4. And aren't they indigenous to where you are, too? So here's what you really do. Get yourself a bigger, better bird, right? Start befriending the local kookaburras. They're cooler anyway. I miss my little cockatiels. Had a male and a female. They never had any babies though, but they're always a hoot to watch. Them and my little blue budgie. Okay. So left engine goes this way. I can't even put it together, right? There we go. Come on, just drop in there like you're supposed to. There we go. So yeah, the turbine shafts for the engines that go into the gearbox actually pass through the exhaust on this. But yeah, really make friends with the neighbors and befriend some kookaburras, or even better, the magpies. If you can start getting the magpies and the local crows to think you're part of their little flock, You'll never be defenseless. All you really got to do is start coaxing them over and feeding them. Don't chase them, don't make any sudden moves, just get them to know that you're not a threat. Alright, then this goes there and there. So that's how that sits in there. Depends on who you ask, but technically no. One is much larger and more extremely intelligent than the other. Ow. Now we get to do all that stuff again with the fiddly little bits. Before I do that, I'm going to take another stretch break, so be right back. Alright, I hate to cut this short, but my wife just got home and I have an oil change to do while it's still nice and sunny out before the next rainstorm heads in. So I'm going to have to cut it a little short today. I'll be back on Friday. That's my next day off. Might be on earlier, can't really say, but Friday definitely. We'll probably continue on this. So, see you next Friday. Everybody take it easy and have a good evening.